We have 4 items on the agenda, so shouldn't be too bad. Get out of here by midnight. And the first is DRB-10-41. This is Wellness Spa at 101 North Wayne Avenue for 3 wall signs. Good evening.
I'm Cece Ballard from Eda Enterprises. It's actually not the wellness spa, it's the actual building, and it is for the offices that are on the 2nd and 3rd floor. We've got a couple tenants that take up larger spaces there, and they were hoping to have a little identification on the front of the building more than just the directory that we have out front. So we had an existing sign that had been approved there, gosh, it might be 15 years ago.
That's the attorney?
That's the attorney, Mark Bridge, and I have a sign that shows you what that looks like. Where do I put it?
Yeah, put it on the
Right
table.
on the table.
Right, great.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's his sign, and it's basically a wood carved sign or a wood-like carved sign with a little bit of gold leaf on it, painted in a hunter green with outlines in black. And our hope was, and here, let me give you this picture too. That shows you where it is on the front of the building, right by the front entrance where the offices entrance is located. So what we'd like to do is take that sign and have 4 signs, and that would be the limit, just 4 signs that would be there that are the same size and style, that would be limited in what they could say, that would just have 2 lines, that wouldn't have phone numbers on it, that it would be strictly the business name and either a website or the second half of the business name on a similarly carved sign that would have some gold leaf, the black trim and the green background, and keep it very consistent. And 2 on each side of the door, that's it. And we wouldn't have, I mean, so I've got lots of little tiny offices that are upstairs, but not anything that takes up more space that we would need more than 4.
Okay.
So that's
and
it.
And the smaller tenants won't get bent out of shape that some people are getting it.
Sometimes if you have bigger space, you do get a little preferential treatment. So.
Okay. Is there anybody you want to get a sign for right away, or is this just thinking down the road?
I have 3 tenants that are in mind that would be there. One is JTA Architects, another one is an SAT prep company, and then the 3rd sign, and it would be up to them if they wanted to purchase a sign, would be Power Design, that is an internet web design and advertising company too. So.
Okay.
So you're actually looking for permission to do the 4. You don't actually have all 4 offices businesses
2 of
that you
them
want
definitely want to do it.
Because I was initially thinking I would rather see 1 sign on each side, maybe square. I just thought it would, to me, I thought it would look better to have something more rectilinear than the ovals. But if you don't know, and if someone moves, then you want to be able to change the sign.
Exactly.
Without,
And the nice thing is now, thank God for the internet, is that you can order these signs online, and they're consistent.
Yep.
The quality's consistent, and you have the same look, and you know what it's going to cost, and it can be done quickly, and it's easy to change out if somebody does move.
Well, I actually share the same feeling that you do. These have, I mean, they're very individually they're nice, but just putting them on randomly kind of on the wall, it's in my view kind of arbitrary. I think you can have kind of the best of both worlds, though.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to do a rectangular backboard that could be maybe in your dark blue or some other color,
Mm-hmm.
and then float the 2 signs on the board so they're organized. You follow
So
me?
you're saying,
Like,
yeah, you're saying so to the right of the 101 East is to do something in a rectangular, and then have something where they can mount the signs on.
Yeah, I just quickly drew it on your
Sure.
drawing here. If you had a rectangular backboard that was, say, centered under the light, so there's a
Right.
position for this thing,
Right.
you could then mount those oval signs on that,
Mm-hmm.
and you could change the ovals at any time you wanted, but the organizing backboard sign would remain constant.
Right.
And if perchance you didn't have a tenant that merited a sign, you could just put a blank
Sure.
oval there.
Sure. I mean, that's fine too.
I think that would
I
give it
wasn't,
more.
the thing is, we weren't planning to change Mark Bridges' sign. It's been there for a long time, and I wasn't requiring him to purchase a new sign.
Right.
Which would be required if
But he's a standalone sign, is he not?
he is.
So,
One's already there.
one,
He's, yeah.
that's the face around the
But
corner.
we're
is it
probably
not?
ending up with four
He's
altogether.
on the right side of the door.
Oh, I see.
So,
Well,
but what about,
what about
if you
just
do
taking
exactly
his
the
sign
same, just
off
take
and
his sign and put it on the
put it on the
plaque
back?
with the others?
If it would come off of the wall, I don't know how it was mounted. That's the problem.
I'm sure it'll come off the wall. When he
If they
moves, he'll
glued
have
it,
to.
well, I understand that, but if they glued it, sometimes when you pull them off, it destroys the sign too. That was my only thing. I wasn't planning to move his sign, that's why.
I just, well, and I'm thinking also, what's the precedent for this? I forget what kind of sign this is. But when you look up on North Wayne Avenue, there's an office building up there that has a list of tenants, and they do
Correct.
slide in plaque. Is that your building also?
No.
No, I forget whose building that is. But I think when we have a building that has a number of businesses in it, I don't have my code in front of me.
Typically,
Well, they're-
they're
Even if I
organized
did,
into an
I'd have
overall.
trouble finding it,
Yeah.
but they're not floating independently. They're all on a plaque together.
Understood.
So that's why I thought, I agree with Michael's design.
So are you suggesting then that we would do a plaque on each side of the building underneath the light, and then
Yeah,
have two
uh-huh.
signs on each one?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that would also go to cleaning up the wall that really didn't get fixed properly. under
Right,
the
now I know
existing
that.
Mm,
Mhm.
Yeah, is that what that is?
But I think that could look pretty sharp, especially if you had the back thing made with a little gold bead around it or
Exactly.
whatever.
Okay.
And that would give you the changeability that you're looking for.
Yep,
Okay, so you're amenable to that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, great. Who
And
wrote
we're just
down-
we're gonna agree it's just the name and the business, no other.
That's it, I'm
info.
not, no,
Okay.
you get too much stuff on it, people don't read it,
Right.
they're not, you
Okay.
need to identify, so that if I'm looking for, ABC company, I can find them in the building.
Okay. All right then. Matt, you okay with that?
Yeah, good.
All right. Okay, so we have a motion?
Oh, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. In the matter of DRB 1041, we won't call it, what would you like me to call the building?
I would call it
The
Lyceum
Opera
Hall.
Building? Oh, Lyceum Hall, okay. Lyceum Hall, not really good at wording these. In place of the 4 proposed oval plaques that are floating independently on the wall, we would like to see 2 plaques on either side of the door, centered under the light, two boards, centered under the light, with the plaques mounted on the board, on the backboard.
Right.
Whoa, not my best effort.
Sorry.
It's passable. I second.
And we're gonna just have name and business?
Yep, just name and business.
Yep,
Okay.
All right.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay.
Great. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Stacy. All right. Okay. So item number 2 on the agenda is DRB-10-42. This is anthropology at 201 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. What's called a facade renovation, but it's really for adding bollards, correct?
Yeah, there was nothing, Marty Schaefer with
Oh,
Ivy
where
Land
would it
Builders.
fit?
There was no other category to put it in, so Matt directed us to put it under
That's
facade
fine.
renovations.
No problem. Okay, good
Basically,
evening, Will.
the parking lot at one point had
And
a
who, I'm
fence-
sorry, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Marty Schaefer, Ivy Land Builders.
Okay.
At one time, there was a fence separating the parking lots from Wawa to the ballet studio to Anthropology, and that fence came down after so much time. Now there's just so much cut-through traffic, it gets to be very dangerous in that parking lot. Instead of putting up a, shadow box type fence, we thought we'd leave it more open and install decorative bollards to stop the vehicular traffic, but allow for pedestrians, bicyclists, or whatever else. So that is the idea, to try to make it a little bit nicer. You see some pictures a picture I did or took off the line. Here's another picture of them in a grouping. The only thing we did talk about is a little different than the application, is doing 5 bollards instead of 4, which would make the spacing approximately 4 feet between. Right now, they're 5 feet between, and some people might think their car might fit,
Good thing.
visually.
Yes.
And they might try to get through there, but if we add 5 instead, it would make it 4 foot in between, and there's no way anybody could visually think they'll make it.
Right. And what are these made of?
They're a plastic cover that goes over a 6-inch concrete-filled steel bollard, which goes down 2.5 feet in the ground with a footing.
Okay.
So they're not moving, it's just the collar, the bollard cover itself is just decorative, so you don't have a maintenance issue because they're a coated plastic one, so it doesn't have to be repainted.
They can't be lifted off, though, can they?
No, they're actually have an insert that makes it so that it's, I won't say never, but it would be very difficult. They'd almost have to cut it off to get it off.
And they're black?
They're black. We are suggesting that the top, if you see around the top here, the little indentation.
Yeah.
We're planning on putting a reflective stripe, attaching that to the bollard, just because people are used to using this as a cut-through, that we want to make sure that they know that they're there. For the first few weeks after they're up, we're planning to keep some safety cones there to get them to learn that they're there, and then eventually taking them away, so it's a more permanent
Sounds wise.
installation.
I'd still order some extra ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they drive through there, I mean, like crazy, especially, you know, coming from the Wawa, trying to cut across instead of going out onto the pike.
When these properties were approved, were there any cross easements, or was this discussed at the site plan approval process?
Was there any easements for traffic flow that you're aware of?
No, not to our knowledge. I'm Karen Bennett, and I work for Famco Real Estate, and this is Nina Saunders, who is the owner of the property. Ecology is the master tenant.
Right.
And may I?
Yeah, please do.
It would be good if you did.
So to the best of our knowledge, there was no easements. We've met with Matt Bauman and discussed the installation of bollards and fencing, and we've gone back and forth to consider what would be best. We've talked to the resident behind us, who is very much in favor of this for obvious reasons.
Right.
The tenant is in favor because their employees have almost been hit a number of times just walking to their cars. The ballet studio, a lot of children in and out. Their mothers and fathers, of course, do use that often to drop them off, but getting to and from their cars, it's just a very, very heavily trafficked area, and the wear and tear on the parking lot.
And are the folks in the adjoining building aware of your proposal?
Yeah, we've met with Steve Bages. Actually, Nina and her sister Diane Clausen has met with Steve, and Steve is aware and on board. He actually gave us some site plans and kind of showed us where an existing building was, and then they had taken down their fence to allow access. There's a little bit of a disconnect, not a disagreement, but present ownership is not sure or does not recall when they were actually asked for the fence to be taken down, nor have they denied that they did not allow or give approval for their neighbor to take the fence down. There's two owners. Nina is one of the owners with her mother and sister. They never gave the approval. The other party can't remember. So with that said, we approached Steve, out of, neighborly courtesy and wanted to get his input on it. We approached Wawa first to talk to them about whether they would be willing to put a sign up, "Do not enter," and maybe bollards there, but they weren't willing to do that for obvious reasons. And the people in between are in favor of this. However, they did not want to contribute any monies to put up additional signage, et cetera. So,
Okay.
and I did speak with Mr. Malloy to inquire about engineering permits if necessary, to address drainage issues and to do a trench drain or a drainage ditch to allow. There was pooling in the one area of the parking lot, and we have addressed that. We did not, apparently, according to Dan and Matt, need a permit for that.
That's not their department.
But with that said, we're trying to address all the variance issues that cause hazardous situations.
I think it's a good idea. I'm there all the time. These people probably not so much. But it is pretty hairy in that
I
parking
do
lot.
have a picture of what exists now. There's a speed bump that will be removed in the spring. We're going to be
Hmm.
in the world, but in retail and commercial, we live with it. But these are where the bollards would be right.
Right. Okay.
And this
They
is
have this.
just, you have the mock-up here, I believe.
Mhm.
So I like that you didn't put a solid fence, you know, it just keeps it, it looks open, but you,
Yeah, we
but it
considered
stops
the
traffic.
fence
No,
and-
this looks good.
Yeah, and we thought, you know what, we didn't want to prevent people from
Mhm.
having vehicles passing through back and
Mhm.
forth. There's a lot of people that office in
right.
that building that go to Wawa, that like to get their lunch. And so
Mhm.
we didn't wanna, we wanted to kind of pick our battles, and we wanted to make it so that it was safe without getting everyone upset.
So, you guys like it?
I like it, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna mention, there were a couple of,
Yeah, some things, man.
that the employees are not to park on the west side of the building and block the alley?
Correct.
And,
And we actually, in the spring, we will be doing a regrading to level out that parking lot
Mhm.
and repaving, restriping. The entrance and egress will remain the same, so coming in on
Mhm.
Bellevue, closer to the building, and out on Bellevue.
Mhm.
With all new signage directing, we're going to be putting a concrete curbing around the median to make median.
I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, can you
oh,
speak into the
they
mic?
can't hear you on
Oh, I'm
TV.
sorry. We plan, given the permit, to put a concrete median around the existing grassy median,
Mhm.
leaving the grass inside, but just a curb so that it's safer for parkers and they're not driving over what is now a wooden car stop. So we plan on dressing that up, and we will actually be adding 3 additional parking spaces as you round, and you are actually coming around here and heading back out. There'll be 3 vertical spots along here that'll give us additional parking.
Oh, good.
Parallel spots?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it would have to be, I think.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the dumpsters are to remain tight against the building and not block the alley so that emergency vehicles can enter in case of fire?
Correct. The dumpsters will remain, where they are. We even thought of actually putting small dumpster pads so that the dumpsters actually have to be set within those, and they wouldn't be able to be,
Right.
placed disheveled, is that even a word?
Sure.
Against the
Every
building.
word.
So sometimes they have a tendency to put them too close, and they hit the drain spout. And that's kind of a battle that Anthropology has had with their contractor, but,
Okay.
so.
We good?
You got it.
Looks fine.
All right. Matt, you okay?
I'm good.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll move that DRB 10-42 for the Anthropology site be approved for installation of 5 bollards as presented.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
very much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Nice to see you, Nina.
Okay.
That's it. Oop, sorry.
No, that's fine. That brings us to agenda item number 3, which is DRB-10-43, deconstructed living at 201 East Lancaster Avenue for 1 awning and 3 window signs.
Yes.
Hello again.
Hello again. We have a new tenant going in the Cobb and Lawless building, which is at the corner of Luella and Lancaster Avenue, that had been occupied by the Beans Beauty Supply Store, and the salon was on the other half. It is now, again, split between 2 separate stores, and I may have a salon that's going into the salon space, which is exciting. In the meantime, we have rented out the corner space to a company called Deconstructed Living. And I have the owner here, and she can answer any questions that you need. But what we are looking to do is, basically, we've replaced and refreshed the awning that is on the front. Okay, put that there. Which is on the front of the building. Same color. It was black and said Beans Supply on one side and had a little arrow, and it had Beans Salon on the other and had an arrow. And so we have it set up to say Deconstructed Living on the half that is their half of the store. And you can see right underneath it there is a D in like a pointillism type D on the front. And then on the front windows, 2 large Ds that say Deconstructed Living. Those letters we figured were about 5 inches or so tall by the length. And then on the side of the building, facing Luella Court where the parking is, and you can see the reflection of the car in the window, is a smaller version of that same thing.
How do you get that car?
How do you what?
That's a nice car.
That's a nice car, right?
I couldn't tell you what.
Focus, focus.
Does, do you want to tell, we're interested in what deconstructed living is.
Absolutely.
Come up and tell.
This is your
Hey,
advertising
this is your
opportunity.
local advertising
For the
on-
12 people
on
who are
Channel
home
21.
watching.
Yeah.
They
On
may be your
TV.
target market.
That's true. We're actually a women and men's gift store, home accessories, and tabletop. It's all modern, kind of a modern vintage with an eco-chic look. It's a lot of words, I know.
But is it a one-off, or is this a?
This is our
national-
first.
Okay.
I've been in retail for many, many years and a buyer for many large companies, so this
Great.
is my first.
So what would I come in and buy?
Hopefully everything. I mean, I have vintage cufflinks for men. My men's section, I have vintage cufflinks. I have Taylor Bond Street, which is an English shaving company, which isn't really sold in the U.S., a lot of places in the U.S. For the regular tabletop, I have anything from like basic vases and votives and candles, platters, women's gifts, everything from jewelry to bags, scarves, hats.
Great.
I'm going
When are you
across the
opening?
board. Well, Saturday's our soft opening, and next Friday, you're all invited, is our grand opening.
Great.
So next Friday will be the big hoopla.
Terrific.
Great.
So
That's great.
definitely stop
Good
by.
luck. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's great. Terrific.
Any other questions?
I like it. I love the D. I love the.
Thank you.
I can't see the deal.
Well, I mean, it looks
It's,
like
it's a
the window
series
area
of
is well
dots
under.
that are different.
Oh, it's
that are
under,
small
yeah.
and
You can
large.
see it when you're out there, because it's up.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wait.
have
Is it in the
what
upper
our
right side of
logo
the
is.
window?
Pardon?
She's gonna show me.
It's hard to tell because
why
we
they tilted this
photoshopped it on top of the window.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, looks good.
They're an orange, kind of a Kelly green, a gray, a black, and then the white's the other accents.
I like that, that's nice,
So
yeah.
we're really deconstructing
I thought
the
it might be
D.
Kelly Green.
It's
I wasn't
chucking the
sure.
D.
Kelly green. I know. I'm sorry. I deal with color too much. A bright
How,
green.
how are you gonna deal with the run-on sentence when your new tenant comes in?
Yeah.
There is actually about a foot or two, or I'm sorry, about a foot or maybe 16 inches that are in between the two. And before Beans Beauty was in there, there were two tenants in that had done that exact same thing with the awning. And one was, you know what, I can't remember what the names of them were, but that's what they did, is they each had their name on the awning, and they had about a 12 or 16 inch space in between.
That's what the fleur-de-lis was designed for.
Right.
There you go.
Separate everything.
That's it.
It's true.
Okay, good.
We
But
really
if you
took the
literally,
awning
though,
in
look
half.
at this, it almost looks like the G is dead on center of the awning.
We really took
You
the
do.
awning in half and ended
And then
it
shifted
where-
over.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Like,
It
we
is.
kept that fully in
Okay,
mind,
all right.
knowing that the
And
tenant.
actually, if you look where the seam is, it looks like it on the,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
I
If
see
you
what
look
you're
where-
saying.
It could just be the angle where they took the
Okay.
picture to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, the signage is all on a clear vinyl. There's no actual white vinyl behind the lettering and deconstructed living, so it's clearly,
Right.
you can see clear right into the windows.
Great.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. Good?
Looks good.
All right, great. Can we have a motion then?
Sure. In the matter of DRB 1043, deconstructed living, I move that we accept the design as proposed, or as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
and
Thank
good luck.
you. Hope to see you.
Thank you.
Friday.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What?
She hopes to see us.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we can get my shaving, English shaving thing. Okay.
Oh, I'm in. I get dragged.
Cro-Magnons in the mail race, okay.
Don't forget First Friday. I think that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
oh, good.
They're on it, okay. Okay, so, that brings us to item agenda number 4, but I'm not sure they're here, and that's DRB-10-44, Radnor Family Practice for a ground sign at 427 East Lancaster Avenue, and
Tabled?
they will be
Yeah.
tabled, continued to
No.
next month.
I feel bad for people, but, you know, if we start at 6, you don't know how long the agenda is, so.
Right. So, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
It's your turn.
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
I third.
Okay,
We're done.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was quick.